Welcome to Junk Monkey Live, where resellers, treasure hunters, and other liars get together to talk about one thing, but we always end up talking about something else. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Poshmark and doing a live unboxing that is directly related to Poshmark. And I am going to mute my other screen. Rookie mistake. I thought I had that done already. Oh, so how is everybody tonight? Well, by everybody, Ping, how are you, babe? I know we're going to have some other people join us here pretty soon. Maybe, possible slight chance of a special guest. We will see. This is all kind of slapped together last minute, as usual for the Junk Monkey. I started doing these things on 6:30 on Wednesday nights because a lot of people go to church. And being on the East Coast, starting at 6:30 doesn't always allow them to be here when the show starts, but they can join in later when they get home from church or Bible study. Oh, you and me both, Ping. We had a nice, bright, sunny day today. In fact, it's nice enough that I don't even have my heater turned on. It's 52 degrees out here. Hopefully it'll stay bright, warm, and sunny for a few days. In fact, I'd like it to stay nice and sunny until Sunday afternoon at the very latest. That way, if Monday, if it's raining, I won't have as much competition at the bins. Which I haven't been to the bins, and I didn't go this week. I'm pretty sure I went last week. It rained pretty hard here, too. Supposedly, all this rain the West Coast got is moving across the nation, and closer it gets to the Rockies on either side, it turned into bad snowstorms. I wouldn't say it was raining cats and dogs yesterday, but it was raining kind of hard for the Pacific Northwest area that I'm in. We're not part of the rainforest that's a few hours north of here, so they what they call hard rain here back on the Gulf Coast of Texas, we would just call that a spring shower. Hey, Kathy, how are you? Thought I was going to start a little bit late. I've been running 90 miles an hour ever since my feet hit the floor this morning, and 5 minutes behind on everything I've done today. So for those on the replay, and I'll repeat myself later for people that join us in the live chat, most of you know that I recently joined Poshmark. I didn't know much about it. I just, it's one of those platforms that everybody hears about. Excuse me a second. Gum. You can tell it's spring. But I don't know much about Poshmark. Everybody's talking about it. And you guys know, if you've been keeping up with my live shows, that I'm branching out into other platforms. I can't stick with just one platform anymore. It's too dangerous to do that. Oh, my sinuses are going to kill me tonight. So the first one that I've done is Poshmark. And that started, I don't know, a month ago, 3, 4, 5 weeks ago. I don't keep track of time very well. But I get on there, and one of the things that I was always worried about, everybody that talks about Poshmark, when they do talk about it, they complain about sharing their closet. Well, it's not that hard. Poshmark is just like a social media platform. If you're on any social media platform that allows you to share somebody else's post, or it's just like that. You just click share, click all my followers. Follow these people. It didn't take me long, and I had all of my requirements to be a Posh ambassador, which I didn't know this until after I signed up. But you don't, when you first sign up, after you make a few sales, if you've done everything right and you get the 5-star reviews, they call you a top-rated seller. Been top-rated seller on eBay for 20 plus years. So it didn't take me long to get that. And then there's levels. You get different badges and you get different things associated with those levels. The more levels you get, the more Posh works with you, I guess. So it came down to, I got all the shares of my own stuff I needed to do. I got enough listings up and running. I got enough sold, shipped on time, got enough 5-star reviews. One last thing, and believe it or not, this took me a while to figure out how to do. The last thing was I had to buy something from somebody and send a love note. I'm like, a love note? And told my wife that, and she's like, what are you talking about? Send somebody a love note. Ladies and gentlemen, it's real simple. A Poshmark love note is nothing in the world but a feedback. That's all it is. It's a feedback. After you get your item, you look it over and you're like, yep, I like it. And you review it and it comes up this 5-star things. And you pick however many stars you want to rate the seller and the item at. And then right below that, you can make a comment. Well, that comment is your love note. So fast forward a little bit. I finally did it on, I believe it was Thursday. That Thursday, I got everything done except that. So I went online and I'm like, who in the world am I going to buy from? And folks, she's right here in the chat with us tonight. Kathy Ginger Marvin has a really nice setup on her Poshmark. So I went through and I scrolled through and I found me something to buy, and it came in yesterday. And we are going to open it up tonight here in just a few minutes. Hey, Christopher, how are you? Tina, I'm glad you could be here tonight. Let me see, am I missing anybody? We've got Kathy, we've got Tina, we got Ping, Christopher. Who else is here? You guys want me to go ahead and open this box that I got from Ginger Marvin, or we want to wait for a few more people? Oh. Oh, Kathy, anybody that knows you knows there's no way you'd send out anything other than the best. Even though those on clouds you sent out had a little chunk missing out. I saw that video. I haven't finished it yet. I was right in the middle of it when it's time to run out here. There ain't no way I'm going to hate it. You know what? We're not going to wait for anybody else. We're going to go ahead and get this box open. Kathy, did y'all put anything in the box other than the hat? Hey, Mama Beth, how are you? You're just in time for the live unboxing. I ordered something from Ginger Marvin. It helps her out, and it helps me out. It was the last thing I needed to do before I could get my Posh Ambassador badge. Yeah, the time change really got me. I'm having a hard time sleeping. Hey, Shay, how are you? You're here just in time, too, for the live unboxing. You know what? We might just wait another minute or two, see who else is going to come in. Oh, it wasn't late. You got it out next day, I think, or maybe it was Saturday morning. I was late. The latest I've been on a shipping was on a Poshmark thing I shipped today. Was supposed to have went out yesterday. Well, I think I have 3 days to ship, but I ship next day on everything. And if it comes in early enough, I ship same day. Shay, you remember the box of Transformer stuff I had? Just in a Tupperware Rubbermaid type box sitting on my floor here in the shop? I finally went through that stuff. The Star Wars Transformers, the Chewbacca and Han Solo that turned into the Millennium Falcon was busted up. I couldn't put it back together, but there was a big yellow Transformer in there. That Transformer sold for $75 and went to a freight forwarding company out of California that I've shipped a lot of stuff to. So all was not lost there. Yeah. And, you know, Kathy, I've been thinking about getting some of those fancy mailers, but maybe later when I grow a little bigger than I am. All right, folks, here we go. that's another thing I like about Posh. Any USPS free shipping boxes or envelopes you get, you can ship in that. You don't have to worry about the weight or anything else. Now, I think you have to upgrade your label if it is something big and heavy like a VHS player or something. But if it'll fit in any USPS free box, you just put the Poshmark label on it. And if there's any adjustment, Poshmark takes care of that. No, this one is not Bumblebee, Christopher. It was actually an Optimus Prime variant. I forget which one it was. I'd have to go back in my eBay stuff and look it up. But yeah, it was. I found sold comps for it. It was really hard to find that thing, but I eventually found a couple of sold comps that were sky high, and I'm like, no way. I'm like, well, you won't get it if you don't ask for it. So I put it up for $75, and it sold within a couple of hours. You know, I started out cross-listing Poshmark and eBay, and I think what I'm going to do is limit what I do. I think the only thing I'm going to cross-list to both platforms is going to be the higher dollar stuff. Like say $50 minimum, that gets listed to both. Anything below that, if it's clothing, pretty much it's going to go on Poshmark. Everything else will go on eBay for now. That's kind of the loose plan for the moment. But it's super easy. One thing I did find out about Poshmark, if you take the pictures with your camera through the Poshmark app and then try to use those same pictures on the eBay app, it doesn't work. Better idea is just go ahead and take all your pictures in square mode and then use the same set of pictures for both platforms. Yeah, Tina, that's I've sold a bunch of shoes on Poshmark that were not moving on eBay. So, and then again, the stuff that I thought would sell on Poshmark ended up selling faster on eBay. I don't have it figured out yet, but oh yeah, selling shoes on Poshmark is so much easier. For eBay, I have to charge $12.99 for sneakers. As long as they're lightweight sneakers, they're 2-pound range. Anything in the 3-pound range, I have to charge $15, and that turns a lot of people off. I pay for promoted listings. I've seen too many experiments where people turn promoted off and their sales tanked. eBay won't tell you they punish you when you do that, but yeah, they punish you. And I do know that when I first started promoting a year or so ago, my sales skyrocketed, but then they kind of back down around normal. But I am only paying promoting at 4%. I was in somebody else's live recently, and they were talking. Oh, it was Chrissy Collins on the Move, and Lori, I think. No, Mary Garcia was talking about if you don't promote at least 5%, that Google won't find your listings. So immediately after that live ended, I searched something that I have listed pretty high dollar. It's the Tiffany Rolex that I showed you guys a couple of weeks ago. I have it listed for $11,000. So I went to Google, did a Google search for a generic Google search for that watch, just Rolex, Tiffany, and the model number. And mine was the first one to pop up. So you can list below 5% and still be found on Google. Mine is listed at 4%. Kathy, one thing that they have changed, if they click on even one of your items through a promoted ad, then they go to your store and buy something that's not the item that they first clicked on, it still counts as promoted now. They changed that. Well, Tina, you wouldn't think so either, but I've got that one. Well, it needs to get sold. So, hey, Ken, how are you? Ken, you're just in time. I've already said this about 4 times to everybody that's popping in, but we are. There's Marie. Hey, You and Ken are both here just in time for me to do a live unboxing of something that I bought from Ginger Marvin on their Poshmark account. So here we go. I'm no more getting sidetracked. We're going to open this rascal up, and Junk Monkey's going to get him a new hat. Oh, I let the cat out of the bag, didn't I? So yeah, I ordered a ball cap. Dang, what kind of tape are you using, Gorilla? There it is. Oh, and you put an air pillow in it. That's awesome. Folks always do a good job packing your items. And if you want to see how it's done, order something from Ginger Marvin. Shoot, that bag's in good enough shape. I might be able to reuse it. Nah, gotta get something on the sticky. The air pillow for sure will get reused. All right, I don't want to hear no comments about my hair. I'm not trying to be sunny Las Vegas. My barber's just been on a hiatus for the last 3 months. Ooh. No. Junk Monkey, don't do the flat brim thing. There we go. Yay, that works. I do. I got the pink. There it is, Kathy. I got the pink one. The ones I use are black and gold. That's a good looking hat, isn't it? Hopefully this time next week, I will have my hair back like I'm supposed to have it, high and tight. Well, high anyway, ain't nothing left on the top to be tight. Here are the thank you stickers that I use. And what I do for a SKU number is I handwrite them out on little, oh crap, I'll just show you guys. Instead of you guys trying to decipher my own personal brand of sign language, I got this big roll of labels at the bins one day. And what I do is I write out my SKU numbers and I take a picture of that when I put it on the bag of whatever it's in. And then whatever bin it goes in, like bin C, it'll be C dash, then this number. And then when I ship the item out, I cover my SKU tag with my thank you sticker. Phew. My other hat was a Danny Trejo taco hat. Apparently he has a taco restaurant, food truck, something down in California, and somehow one of his hats made it up here to Southern Oregon. I thrifted it and was going to sell it. And as clean as that hat looks, when I put it in my photo booth to take pictures of it, the pictures show up and the hat just doesn't look clean. And I'm like, well, I like it. I'll just wear it myself. Yeah, Ken, I didn't used to do that. But my wife has promised to start trying to help me with some of this, including on if I have to go on a road trip or a buying trip or something like that. Instead of putting my store on vacation, she can stay here and she can do the shipping for me. But in order for her to do that, I had to come up with a organized inventory so she can find it. So over the last couple of months, I've been putting stickers and numbers on everything and adding SKU numbers to the listing. There's a few things I haven't and probably won't, but I'll show her where that stuff is at. I mean, even baseball bats and golf clubs are getting the stickered. Which reminds me, I've probably got 20 more golf clubs to list in the next 2 days. April the 15th. It is March 15th. April. Marie, will you have mentioned that before? You're having a citywide yard sale, if I remember right. Yeah, I don't keep up with individual cost of goods. I do the cash in, cash out method of accounting. So I just keep all my receipts and I add up everything because it's doing the individual itemized listing for cost of goods. I get a lot of my stuff from the bins, and some days it's kind of hectic in there, and the lighting in my bins is just terrible. I'm talking to the wrong screen, sorry. But anyway, the lighting is really bad in there. And on days when I know I'm going to get over 20 pounds, I'm paying 79 cents a pound. So I don't always do the best job of looking things over while I'm there. So it gets brought home, it gets looked over a little bit, it gets cleaned, and a lot of times I don't find the flaws until I'm taking pictures. Then I have to throw it away, and then I have to refigure the cost of goods on everything, and it's just easier for me to keep track of money out and money in. So I've got at the end of every month, I've got a cost of goods total that I spent that month. I've got a cost of supplies, that's cleaning supplies, shipping supplies, you name it, and I've got my mileage on there. And if there's anything else that comes up, I know the CPA said I need to figure out how much I use my cell phone and internet towards my business. It's on a Saturday, and it's the Northwest largest yard sale. Marie, what area general is it? How far off the I-5 is it, and is it Washington, Portland? I my memory is not the best. Okay, thank you. I didn't realize you had sent me a link before. I will remember that this time. In fact, where did my notepad go? Man, I always keep a notepad here. That's all right. I will sacrifice a label. I've got it. I'll remember it now. Hey, the Variety Flipper is here. How are you? In fact, I will go ahead and do that from over here. Open that in a new tab, and that way I've got it open already. Oh, by the way, Kathy, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Clark County. Okay. Clark County Fairgrounds. If it's on a Saturday, I could drive up Friday evening and wouldn't have to worry about shipping until Monday. I come back Sunday morning. Get a look at that. Where is my mouse? There it is. I'll look that all up later. I'm doing okay. I've already had to fill out my tax form on there, so not my last sale, but the sale before that. So I've made a little over $600 in a month on there. We were somebody mentioned keeping track of how much they paid for an item so they could keep track of make it easier to decide on whether or not to accept an offer. I have a general rule of thumb on what I will pay for stuff outside of the bins, and I kind of apply it to everything that I've got listed. And that is, I like to get things at 5 times my money or better, period. And if I pay 20% in fees and I paid 20% in for the cost of goods, well, that's 40%. That leaves me 60% to play with. And out of that, I got to pay taxes. So I will not go below. I like to stay at 20% at my best offer. That leaves me 20% free and clear in my pocket, in my bank account, not counting the original cost of goods, which you do get back. I call it increasing my wealth. Yeah, variety flipper. We were just talking about that, and the reason I don't do that is because a lot of items end up not being good enough to list. I have to throw them away, redonate them, whatever. And there's also the items that just don't sell. So I do the cash method where every month I create a list of how much money I have spent and how much money I've taken in, and subtract one from the other. That gives me my net, and that's what I pay taxes on. That way I don't have to go remove something from my inventory, my official, turn it into the government inventory. It's just cash in, cash out. Now, I know a lot of people itemize every single item. I just choose not to do it that way. Ginger Marvin, they have a spreadsheet. Kathy, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a free spreadsheet. And if you guys, I've heard nothing but good things about it. Lots of people use it. Check out Ginger Marvin's channel, and I believe they have a link there on every one of their videos where you can go look at and download their spreadsheet. So to get back to it, my cost of goods get lumped together in all one lump sum for each month. That way, if anything ends up getting thrown away, instead of just losing that money, the money that I paid for that item kind of gets incorporated into the other items, which means my average cost of goods go up a little bit, but I can then, it's easier for me to work out the taxes that way. Going to send out an offer right now. I used to have a sliding scale for sending offers. Like the first week of the month, 5% offer. That 5% offer, though, has always kind of bugged me. If somebody sends me a 5% off offer, I'm like, you couldn't give me a better coupon than 5%? No, thank you. And then as the week of the month would advance, I would send out higher and higher offers up to 20% by the end of the month. That way I have more sales to make money for that month. But I've kind of quit doing that. I just flat 10% just to try and open a negotiation. That's about as far as I'm going, but I will take up to 25, and depending on the item, sometimes 30% off of an item. Let's see. Oh, it's a KitchenAid processor, food processor part. I got that at the bins 2 or 3 weeks ago and listed it and sold most of the parts, all but 2 of the parts, within a couple of days. The entire food processor was in the bins, and I don't remember who I learned this from. It may have been Dustin over at the Pro Picker, Ohio Pro Picker, or you guys know who I'm talking about. But the motor part of it, the base of them, is extremely heavy, and those things almost never break. So they don't sell very well because it costs a lot to ship them, for one, because of the weight, and the ones people have just never wear out. But the plastic parts and the blade, the bowls and the lids and the push down thing, and those parts sell pretty easy. So there was probably £2. I probably paid $1.50 for all those parts, and there were at least 6 parts. And those parts sell for 30, 40, 20, 10. You know, I made probably $75 off of them parts already. Am I still here? Did the chat freeze, or did something wonky go on with the internet? All right, so somebody say something so I know I'm still here. Oh, hey. Okay, Tina. I just had everybody riveted. Hey, Lori, how are you? Huh. Is anybody else having problems with the video? Yeah, whenever I find those things, I always comp them out, but that was the first KitchenAid one that I'd come across, and it was in great condition. It's a little dirty, but it wasn't all scuffed up and foggy looking, the clear plastics. Hey, there you are, Lori. Okay, good. Everybody can see me, and I'm still here. For a second there, I got scared, thought I was just rambling on to myself out here in my garage, which actually happens more often than I like to admit. Parted out 2 salad shooters today. Yeah. All right. There was a war going on last year about who come up with the and when in doubt, parted out between Kevin Commonwealth Picker and Paul the Philly Picker. When in doubt, parted out. It's been a long round, longer than the internet has. So, yeah. Yeah, Lori, I think I found that one at the bins too. Sometimes you find stuff and it's really not worth anything, but it's kind of cool. That's kind of one of my favorite things about picking. I got all kind of stuff sitting around in here, Spider-Man posters and figurines and things like this. It's old Avon stuff that from the '60s with the peanuts on it. Yeah, Avon. One of them is a brush and one of them is something else. I don't know. This one it was shampoo. I think this one's just a box and a piece of paper, but this one is like a hairbrush from 1965, still in the box. I sold comps are just not there, and I don't mind the stuff sitting around. I kind of like looking at it. Woodstock. Yep, Snoopy and Woodstock. One of these days, I'm gonna find one of those cool Snoopy, the World War II fighting ace, something or another to put up in here. Huh. Yeah, Ping. My internet gets wonky whenever my daughter gets in one of her online video games. She has a massive gaming computer set up in the house. Even though I've got 3 channels, somehow it's hey, there we are. Man, just had to try and talk about it, didn't I? soon as I said something, boom, knocked me offline. Oh, yeah. When she's not home and she's not on one, or when she's not gaming or streaming or whatever it is they're doing, I have no problems with my internet. And my other screen is lagging big time. So there we go. Cool. We got everything back up and running. So how's everybody's sales been? Sneak up on it, yeah. But yeah, I have 3 channels. I have one 5G channel and two 2G channels. And I think she connects to all 3 at the same time and has some kind of programming that allows her to use whichever one has the strongest signal. AOL. I had the same AOL mail account for years. And I used to go back and look at it every once in a while just to see what was on there. I don't think the servers for it even exist anymore. Yeah, last Friday, sales just started rolling in. And then Saturday about lunchtime, somebody flipped a switch back off and sales just shut down again. You guys know that those old AOL discs or a bolo, they sell on eBay. The old free ones that used to be in every magazine and stuffed in your mailbox by the thousands. And those old AOL discs are actually a bolo. They sell on eBay. I was in a live sometime a few months back, and I went and looked them up, and sure enough, they do actually sell. I think it was actually Paul the Philly Flipper, one of his live shows a few months back. Well, I bragged about it being warm. It's in the 50s, but it's starting to drop a little, so I'm going to turn my small heater on. Up and down. God, I used to hate wearing those flak jackets. They were heavy as crap and didn't protect much of anything. And those old flak jackets, they were real heavy, and they had like a plate right here. And then they had this funky shaped little plate on the back. And really and truly, it was hard to hit those plates. Apparently, they're a lot better with the newer ones and a lot lighter. The ones we had back in my day were heavy and just really weren't worth wearing. But I guess they were better than nothing. My sales, I had a couple of really, really big sales late January, early February. So those have been dropping off, and I've been competing with those on my 30-day limit or 30-day sales records. And so right now, I'm only 49% below where I was at this time last month. 10 pounds, yeah, it's not much of a flak jacket. Or maybe it's one of the newer ones that's got the little ceramic honeycombs in it instead of the big steel plates like the ones I had to wear. Now, I did pick up some pretty good stuff this past week, but I've been concentrating on golf clubs and baseball bats and baseball gloves. I got all the gloves listed. I got all the bats listed. Been selling a few of those, and I've about a third of the golf clubs listed. I've still got a bunch of golf clubs to list, but as soon as I get that done, I've been picking up a lot of electronics. I've got a handheld Garmin with the all the paperwork, and it's been tested and works. I got a VHS DVD recorder combo unit. And in fact, I just got in the remote control for that yesterday. So I'll be able to, and it came with all the manuals and everything. Goodwill, I guess, just threw the remote control away, or going to price it later when they find it in the other box or whatever. But anyway, I had to order one. And let's see, what else did I get? I found a bunch of Fiesta ware, coffee mugs. Yeah, I save there are any number of seasonal items that sell year round. Golf clubs, Halloween, um, better baseball stuff, Christmas stuff, all that stuff sells year round. But it sells better and it sells for more money at the beginning of each one of those seasons. I would rather hold on to that stuff and list it all at one time, right at the peak time, just before that season starts. And part of the reason why is when you list a lot of the same type of stuff, it helps with the algorithm. Hey, Baldy Pal, how are you, buddy? I don't buy them for all the combo units, because a lot of them, the combo unit, well, the remote doesn't add any more value to it than what the remote is worth. Now, the higher dollar ones, like the recorders, the HDMI DVD recorders, those I will, and I build custom bundles with them too. I put the cables, RCA and HDMI if it uses it. I put the remote with it, and if I've got it, the manual. So I put a blank VHS tape and 2 or 3 blank DVD-Rs in there with it. And doing that with the one I got, it's a Toshiba. Now, with no remote, no cables, no nothing, just as found, as is, just tested, it'll play. That thing probably sells for $100 to $125. But being that it came with the manuals, and I've got all the cables, because I get those at the bins for about 50 cents a pound, and I'm able to source a remote control for it pretty cheap. Instead of selling it for 125, I'm going to sell it for 225. So in a case like that, yeah, I will order the remote. Some of the older Sony, just straight VHS players, some of those sell for significantly more money with the remote. So if it raises the price significantly, yeah, I'll order a remote control for it. Adidas Olympics, 1990s. Adidas Olympics. Is that a type of shoe? Ping, you're not going to believe this, but last 2 weeks ago, I sold a remote control, and I accidentally sent them the wrong remote control because my handwriting is terrible on those custom SKUs. I was very close. The last number was a 3, and I grabbed the 8. And it was a brand new old stock Westinghouse remote control. And they never sent it back to me. Yeah, the remote controls are one of my favorite. I tell people a lot of times, don't chase them $5 and $10 items, $15. Hey, don't chase them. But if you can pick them up for pennies and they're just there where you're already going anyway, grab them. And remote controls is that one of the items that I do. And this is currently how many I have listed. There are probably 40 or 50 of them. Again, I get them at the bins. I'll fix that in a minute. But get those at the bins. And they weigh about 3.5, 4 ounces a piece. So it takes 4 or 5 of them to make a pound. Or sometimes 6 of them if they're the smaller ones. But so I'm They're 59 cents a pound. So 4 or 5, I'm paying like 10 cents a piece for the things. They are very easy to test, very easy to clean, very easy to list, very easy to store, and very easy to ship. So it checks off all the boxes for me. And quite honestly, there are days when I sell 4 or 5 of them, and that's pretty much all I sell. So instead of having a goose egg day, I'll make 20, 30 bucks. A lot of mine only sell for $5, and I sell a lot of them. But yeah, I get a lot of them in the $10 to $20 range too. And every great once in a while, I get really lucky, and I sell one for $50 or $60. One of the other things that I sell a lot of, and I had a bin full of them in my storage unit that unlisted for the past year. And a couple of weeks ago, I decided, well, I'm gonna go ahead and get these things listed. I bet I listed 20 or 30 of them, and I'm down to like 3 left. That would be, I'm exactly 3 left. The heat controls for electric skillets. They got the big sharp metal, but yeah, these things sell like hotcakes. Again, I get them from the bins. Those are a little heavier than your average remote. They're about 6 ounces, maybe up to 8 ounces, depending on the model. And they sell like hotcakes. And they sell for anywhere from $10 to $20 a piece. I have yet to sell one of those for less than $10. One of the other things I grab at the bins is bread machines were hot during the pandemic shutdowns. They're no longer hot, but the replacement paddles on the insides of them, for some reason, those sell. I guess they break easy or something. But when I see a bread machine in there, I will open it up. If it's got the paddle in it and it's not all chewed up and nasty, I'll snag it out. I'll take a picture of that paddle right next to the information label on the bottom or the back of the machine, so I'll know what model it goes to. Yes, you can actually test those heat controls for the skillets. You just plug them in and twist the knob. It's got 99% of them have a light that comes on if it works. And those that I grab that the light doesn't come on when I plug it in and turn it on, I throw them away. Same with the remotes. If I put batteries in it and I can't see the infrared light come on through my camera lens, I just throw them away. I mean, I've got 10 cents into them, and everything else makes up for the loss of that 10 cents. Yeah, the skillet plugs, you plug them in and twist the knob, and a little red light should come on. If it doesn't, throw it away. Yeah. Some of the skillets, there's a few of the skillets complete that apparently bring decent money. They're pain in the butt to pack up and ship. You got to source and stock a box big enough to fit them, and it takes a lot of bubble wrap. And anymore with stuff like that, I just grab the parts that are easy to sell. And I got on the bread machine kick right towards the end of all of that. So I ended up getting stuck with 4, 5, or 6 of them and had to part them out. In January, I finally just gathered up all the parts that were not the paddles and went ahead and delisted them and threw them away, like the loaf pans, some of the lids, some of the little gaskets and stuff. That stuff just was not selling. It didn't fit in my shelving units very nice. It was taking up space, so I just gathered it all up and threw it all away. I'd already made my money and then some on the other parts, so sometimes you just cut your losses, get rid of that crap, and make room for something better. Yeah, dollar a remote's fine. I mean, even if the lower end ones sell for $5 plus shipping, so you're 5 times in your money. And at the end of it, you spent $1, you made $1, and paid everybody else their cut. But occasionally, and that's just on the lower end, there are a lot of them that sell for $10 to $20. I bought a junk drawer lot of remotes one time, and they all come in individually bagged up like that. And I thought, man, this is going to be good if they're individually bagged up. Somebody had them listed before, so they bound to have tested them. So in order to take pictures, I had to take them out of their baggies, and I'm like, well, I better test them just to be sure. It's like two of them worked. So a medium flat rate box full of dead remotes. We have one of those kids' clothing, used clothing stores opening up right next door to my UPS store that I send all my UPS packages out through. And it looks to be a pretty big place, and they're already advertising that they're going to be buying gently used kids' clothing. And I wanted to ask you guys if any of you had any experience with that kind of thing. I mean, do the same brands for kids' clothes as adult clothing work, or is there some other clothing brand that the kids stores like that are looking for? I have no idea, but I come across a lot of good. I see like a great label, I grab it up, and I'm like, oh man, it's kids clothing. Just throw it back in the bins. Yeah, I know she sells a lot of clothing online, kids clothing, especially shoes. But I was talking about dropping it off at one of those kids' used clothing places and then coming back later and getting a check plus picking up whatever they rejected. I know I've seen people doing videos on it before, but it's been a while. Yeah. You know, you see a lot of those stand mixers, the old Sunbeam ones. Um, if you can find the bowl and the attachments with the machine so you can get the model number, the bowls and the beaters and hooks and stuff for the old Sunbeams sell pretty good. Oh, Laura, I will contact her. She was here earlier tonight. Uh, I don't know if you were here early enough to see me unbox the hat, but I bought this from Ginger Marvin, and this is not a Panthers hat. This is a Junk Monkey Posh Ambassador hat. I don't even know which company it is. They've got all the signs on the windows and stuff, but not the only thing they don't have on it is the name of the store. I turned my little heater on earlier, and it's just blowing cold air. That thing don't warm up pretty quick. I'll have to go to the bins and get me another one. Yeah, there it goes. Hot air. Let's see. It's all right. There it is. Stupid mouse goes to sleep. I don't know why. You know, I should screenshot my. Uh, I'm Junk Monkey on Poshmark. Everywhere I go, I sign up as Junk Monkey. I use the same avatar picture. Thinking about screenshotting my avatar with the Posh Ambassador symbol on it and turning it into a picture to hang on my wall. I know it's silly, but I did that in about a month. Guys, you're going to have to excuse me for just one moment. Sorry guys. It is springtime, and I guess you call it allergies, kicking up on me a little bit. All right, Tina, it's good to see you again. Thanks for stopping by. Well, guys, it's come to that time, like every week, where I really just run out of things to say. And instead of sitting here with dead air, me trying to think of something to say, I think we're going to call it here tonight. It's been an hour, right at an hour. But we're going to call it a night. And I'm going to get back to drafting and listing because I haven't done it in the last 2 or 3 days and I'm way behind. So thank you, everybody, for coming in tonight. And we'll see you next week. Same time, same channel.